Hello students, let us start our new session of chapter number 10, Gravitation. Let us start our session with the example based on the content we have referred in previous session based on weight of moon and weight of object on moon and earth. So here the example is given, mass of an object is 10 kilogram. What is the weight of an object on the earth? So mass of an object, that is a small m, is given 10 kilogram. Acceleration, that equation, weight of object on earth, that we have W equals to m into g based on F equals to ma. F is replaced by W, A is replaced by g. So here the equation becomes W equals to m into g. M is given 10 kilogram, G is not given, so we supposed to assume that universally accepted value 9.8 into 9.8 meter per second square. So replace the value of M and G, 10 kilogram into 9.8 meter per second square. So the value becomes 98 unit Newton. So weight of the object is 98 Newton. Now let us go through the other example. An object weighs 10 Newton when measured on the surface of the earth. What would be its weight when measured on the surface of the moon? So here weight of the object on the earth, WE, is given 10 Newton. We need to determine the weight of the object on moon. So in previous session at the end we have determined that equation, that weight of the object on moon is 1/6 times weight of the object on earth. So that is Wm equals to We by 6. So We is given 10 Newton, so 10/6 Newton equal to 1.67 Newton. So we can say that weight of the object on the surface on moon is 1.67 Newton, which is very less than weight of the object on earth. Now let us understand the different concept, that is a thrust and pressure. To understand this thrust and pressure, let us observe some condition. Two situations are available in front of us. Let us do that activity. That we want to fix a poster on a bulletin board. For that, what we need to do? We need to take one pin, that we need to press that drawing pin through our thumb, and that force is applied on a pin that is on the surface area of the head of the pin, right? If bulletin board is there over which we want to fix a poster, so how we able to fix it? By using a pin. While we are pushing that pin inward side of the bulletin board, so we are giving a force onto the pin, onto the surface of head of that pin. So we need to apply a force on the surface area of the head of the pin. This force is in the perpendicular direction to the surface area of the board. Over the board we are providing perpendicular force to fix a pin. This force acts on a similar area at the tip of the pin. Second situation is given. While you stand on loose sand, your feet go deep into the sand. Now instead of by standing, while you lie down onto the sand, you will find that you can observe that your body will not go that much in deep compared to the earlier case while you are standing on feet. So in both the cases, the force exerted on the sand, that is the same based on weight of your body. But in one case, while you are standing on your feet, that you are going much in deep into the sand compared to while you lie down onto the surface, onto the sand. So these two situations while we observe, we supposed to do one conclusion based on this concept. So while the weight is the force acting vertically downward, that weight is nothing but the force experienced by that object in downward side. So here the force is acting perpendicular side. Weight is what? The force experienced at downward side. But here in the first situation and the second situation, both force is acting perpendicular side towards the surface of the sand, or here towards the surface of the board. So the force acting on the object perpendicular to that surface, that force is known as thrust. Right? Weight is what? I repeat, weight is what? The force acting downward side. That due to the gravitational force of the earth, the object experience a force and moving at the downward side, vertically downward side. That force is known as a weight. But while we are providing a force which is perpendicular to the surface, that force is known as thrust. Now, when you stand onto the loose sand, the force, that is a weight of your body acting onto the, how much area is covered? Equivalent to your feet. The force is acting perpendicular to the surface onto the sand, but that force is given onto the surface where your feet is available into the contact area of the surface. Now if you lie down, the same force is equivalent to your body, but now contact area is different. Instead of your feet, now you lie down, so contact area is much compared to your feet. So here the effect of forces of the magnitude on different areas are different. That the thrust is the same. The force is applied perpendicular to the surface. So the object is the same, either our body or pin. So our body force is same, that we are providing perpendicular side. Thrust is same, but the contact area is different based on effect of thrust is depends also on the area on which it acts. So that effect is known as pressure. So the pressure is nothing but thrust by the area. The thrust on unit area, that is known as pressure. So we want to determine now the SI unit. So SI unit of thrust and area, that is SI unit of pressure. So what is the unit of thrust? Thrust is nothing but the force. Force is applied on perpendicular side. Ultimately it is a force. So unit of thrust is Newton and unit of area is meter square. So unit of pressure is Newton per meter square. But this concept is determined by the scientist, and based on that its unit is given as in Pascal. So SI unit of pressure is also known as Pascal. That is denoted as capital P small a, PA. So the same force acting on a smaller area exert a larger pressure and a smaller pressure on a larger area. I repeat, the same force acting if area is smaller, same force is acting in a smaller area is less, so the pressure is more, right? And if area is more, contact area is more, then the pressure is less because area is available in denominator. So let us understand this thing thrust in terms of example. A block of wood is kept on a tabletop. The mass of a wooden block is 5 kg and its dimensions are given 40 centimeter cross 20 centimeter cross 10 centimeter. Find the pressure exerted by the wooden block on the tabletop if it is made to lie on the tabletop with its side of the dimension 20 centimeter cross 10 centimeter and another one, second case, 40 centimeter cross 20 centimeter. So here we need to determine the pressure. For that, first we need to determine the thrust because pressure is nothing but thrust by area, and contact area is given in two different cases. So for that, first determine the thrust. So for that thrust equation is nothing but m into g. Mass of the object is given 5 kg and g, that is a 9. It is not given in example, so take as a universally accepted value 9.8 meter per second square. So that thrust is F equal to mg, that is 5 kg into 9.8 meter per second square, that is a 49 Newton, right? Now the contact area for the first case, that is length into breadth, that is 20 centimeter into 10 centimeter, so that would be 200 centimeter square. While we convert into the meter, then 1 meter equals to 100 centimeter. So while we want to convert centimeter into meter, divide by 100. So that would be 0.02 meter square. So the pressure is thrust by area, that is 49 Newton thrust divided by area 0.02 meter square. So the value is 2450 Newton per meter square. Now the contact area is different as given in the example. The second option is there. The second question is given 40 centimeter cross 20 centimeter. So different area, 20 centimeter into 40 centimeter into 20 centimeter, that would be 800 centimeter square. Convert into the meter, so 0.08 meter square. So now the pressure becomes, thrust is same, 49 Newton. Now the contact area is different, so area is now 0.08 meter square. So now pressure becomes 612.5 Newton per meter square. So now we can say that by this comparison, the pressure exerted by 20 cross 10, that is 2450 Newton per meter square, and for the 40 cross 20, that is a 612.8 meter per second square. So the same concept which we have defined earlier, the last line was there. If contact area is less, pressure is more, and if contact area is more, pressure is less. So now that thrust and pressure that we have determined for solid objects. Now what about fluids? Fluid, it means liquid and gases. Both are included in terminology of fluid. So solid, for which that exert of pressure on a surface due to its weight. Same way, fluids also having a weight. but they exert pressure on the base and walls onto the container by which they are enclosed. Fluid and the fluids, ultimately the liquids and gases, we can store in some container, or it can flow over the surface. So that exerts a force onto the base of the walls of the container or over to the surface from which it enclosed. So pressure exerts in any confined mass of fluid is transmitted in undiminished in all the direction. That force experienced by the fluid in any direction or in all the direction. Now, the next concept is buoyancy. To understand this buoyancy, what it is, let us do one exercise. Let us do one activity. Take one empty plastic bottle, close its mouth of the bottle with an airtight stopper. Now, that bottle, put it in bucket which is filled with the water. So you can see that bottle floats over the water surface. Now if we are giving force to the bottle, if we push the bottle into the water, we are feeling reverse force. That is upward push also we can feel. So we can experience a reverse force. Now if we release that bottle, if we are removing to give a force in downward direction, then bottle comes outward side, it bounces back onto the surface of the water. Right? So what will happen? The force due to the gravitational attraction of the earth acts onto the bottle that it's supposed to move in downward direction. So bottle should move downward side by giving the force. But water exerts outside, moving upward side due to the upward force experienced by the bottle. Thus the bottle moving outward side. So the weight of an object is the force due to the gravitational attraction of the earth, that we know. But when bottle get upward force by the water on the bottle is greater than the weight, then it's a weight. Therefore, it rises up, and when we release it, I repeat, gravitational force is there. That is a weight of an object while it is moving downward side. Right? That force experienced downward side due to the gravitational force, gravitational attraction of the earth. But when bottle is moving upward side, it gets upward side force. It means that the force experienced onto the bottle by the water, it is greater than its weight. I repeat again, while the bottle is moving upward side, it means the force given by the water that is greater than the gravitational force over to the bottle. That is then the weight of the bottle. Gravitational force, it means its weight. So the force given by the water that is higher than the weight of the bottle. Right? Then only it rises up when it released. So to keep the bottle completely immersed, the upward force on the bottle due to the water must be balanced. If both forces are balanced, then bottle completely immersed upward side, outside. This can be achieved by externally applied force acting downward side. This force must be at least equal to the difference between upward force and the weight. So if we are providing the sufficient amount of force, that sufficient amount, it means difference between the weight of the bottle and the force given by the water, right? So if the force we are providing higher than this difference from in downward side, then only bottle can be placed under the water in downward side. So the upward force given by the water onto the bottle, that is known as upthrust, or that upthrust force, that is known as buoyant force or buoyancy. Clear? I repeat the concept. If we are taking an empty bottle, it's sucked, and we are pushing it in a bucket which is filled by water. If we are pushing the bottle is moving downward side in the water. While we release it, bottle comes upward side. If we want to maintain the position of bottle in the water, then how much force we required? Force given by the water and the weight of the bottle, right? If the total force, at least that much force we are applying, then bottle can keep inside the water. If we remove this force, then bottle coming upward side. Why this bottle coming upward side? Because the force given by the bottle is higher than the weight of the bottle. So upward side force is experienced by the bottle and it is coming outward side. That upward force given by the water onto the bottle is known as upthrust or buoyant force or buoyancy. So all the objects experience the force of the buoyancy when they are immersed in fluid. The magnitude of that buoyant force depends on the density of the fluid. So how much force given by the liquid or the fluid based on its density. Right? Now, why that particular object float or sink when placed on the surface of the water? That is based on the concept of buoyancy that we will study in next session. Here we are going to end it. Hope you understood. Thank you.